Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese is not even a debate anymore.
The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer!
There are rivalries that erupt naturally, two players locked in repeated battles, a history of one-upmanship, and mutual resentment bubbling beneath every possession. And then there are rivalries born under bright lights, fed by social media virality and brand campaigns, propped up by hot takes and highlight reels. The Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese saga?
One of the names that we always hear when we hear Angel Reese is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I think it's just competition. It's been competition since college, being able to play against Caitlin. I've been playing against Caitlin since we were probably in ninth.
But even then, what fans called a rivalry was already starting to show cracks. It was clear Clark didn't view it the same way.
Question about this Angel Reese thing. Just Angel Caitlin, not. I don't want to get into like the RG3 Ryan Clark beef. Here's the question. If Angel was white, is this even a rivalry?
No.
Not to the level it is.
I wouldn't say to the level, but it still would be, because if she's white but as outspoken as Angel is, it would still be.
But even then, what fans called a rivalry was already starting to show cracks. It was clear Clark didn't view it the same way. She never clapped back, never antagonized. And when Angel Reese faced online harassment, it was Clark who publicly defended her. Still, the media couldn't let go. ESPN segments dissected their relationship. YouTube thumbnails plastered them side by side. Social media accounts ran polls. Who's better? Who's the real face of the WNBA? When Caitlin Clark entered the league in 2024 with an unprecedented wave of hype, the natural counterweight was obvious. Angel Reese. Say the noise. She hasn't responded directly, hasn't made any claims, hasn't issued callouts. Her silence only sharpens the contrast. And yet, commentators, like Sarah Spain, still ask what Clark is doing to end the beef. As if it's her responsibility to de-escalate something she never escalated to begin with. What we're watching isn't so much a rivalry but a narrative loop. One side plays into it, willingly or not. The other side plays through it. The media replays the same images, the same college clips, the same recycled drama. And when Reese embraces the spotlight, as she has every right to do, it's seen as villainous. More fiction than fact, written not by the players but by the media machine around them. It's the kind of story that sells, and as long as it does, don't expect the headlines to stop. Even if the players already have. Angel Reese didn't just show up in Indiana, she made a statement. With a Reebok billboard towering over the city and a caption that read like a declaration of war, "Walk in your trap, take over your trap," Reese sent a message. Not just to the Indiana Fever. Not just to Caitlin Clark. But to the league, the fans, and the narrative and more about symbolism. It said, "You're the golden child, but I'm in your backyard now." But here's where things get complicated. The marketing might be bold, but the scoreboard wasn't on Angel Reese's side. Just days before the billboard went up, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever routed the Chicago Sky 93-58 in what can only be described as a public dismantling. Clark dropped a triple-double, including a career-high 12 assists, becoming the only player in WNBA history to do that with a 30-point game. Meanwhile, Reese and her Sky teammates looked overwhelmed, outpaced, and outplayed. In fact, across 6 from the headlines, the Reebok machine was rolling. The Instagram post declaring Indiana her trap had just gone up. Clark? She let her game speak. A triple-double, 31 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. The first ever 30-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist performance in WNBA history. And she didn't just score, she orchestrated. She broke the Sky defense apart, threading passes through tight windows, hitting shooters in rhythm, and dictating pace like a veteran point guard in her prime. That was Clark's answer to the noise. No podcast rants. No billboard rebuttals. Just clinical, elite-level basketball. This is who Caitlin Clark has always been. Dating back to Iowa, her approach to pressure and provocation has been the same. Bury opponents with performance. Even when Angel Reese waved her hand in Clark's face during the 2023 NCAA championship, Clark didn't retaliate with words or gestures. She congratulated her opponents, answered questions gracefully, and got ready for the next chapter. And that's what makes her so dangerous. Her silence isn't passive, it's tactical. Every time the rival, wearing custom shoes that cast her as the villain, using quotes like "This is my city," and stoking the fire whenever she can. It's a savvy move from a marketing standpoint, but Clark's refusal to engage creates an even more powerful counter-narrative. She positions herself as the competitor above the fray. And fans, especially in Indiana, have embraced that. Clark's statistical edge also deepens the divide. She's among the league leaders in assists, three-pointers, and minutes played. She's the engine of her team's offense. Her playmaking creates easy buckets for teammates who'd otherwise struggle. And while Angel Reese has been dominant on the glass and improving in her finishing, Clark's contributions tilt toward winning basketball on a broader scale. That's not a knock on Reese. She's a double-double machine, a relentless competitor, and a defensive disruptor. But Clark is dictating outcomes, not just effort. And yet, despite her dominance, Clark hasn't taken the bait. When asked about Reese, she's consistently respectful. She praises her talent. She focuses on team wins. Even when she was on the receiving end of a hard foul or a public jab, Clark stayed on message, "I'm just here to compete." That mentality, coupled with her performance, is what truly separates her. It's not just that she doesn't need to clap back, it's that she knows she doesn't have to. She's letting the scoreboard do the talking. And right now, is shouting louder than any tweet or post ever could. The so-called rivalry may be one-sided in terms of words and flash. But on the court, Clark has made it clear, she's in control of her game, of her poise, of the moment. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most powerful statement of all. It was never going to stay on the court. The moment Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese entered the WNBA, the game of basketball became inseparable from the game of headlines. But what if Clark had just made history? But suddenly the conversation was about bias, favoritism, and race. The message, whether intentional or not, redirected the spotlight from performance to persecution. The problem? Clark hadn't said a word. She hadn't cried foul. She hadn't blamed anyone for the physical play or responded to any of the subtle jabs being thrown her way. Yet, once again she became the lightning rod for controversy she never asked for. Then came Nick Wright, the FS1 analyst whose specialty is polarizing takes and fire-starting comparisons. He took the bait and ran with it. Caitlin Clark is the most of WNBA marketing, competition, and culture. Deserves better than being reduced to clickbait. Let's make one thing clear. The on-court rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is not equal, not yet. In terms of wins, performances, and leadership impact, Clark has a commanding edge. But that doesn't mean this feud isn't critical to the WNBA's present, or its future. In fact, precisely because it's one-sided, the league needs it. Here's why. The WNBA has long craved attention on the national stage, but attention has always come at a cost. Before Clark and Reese arrived, the league had stars, Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Alyssa Thomas, but very few names that could transcend sports media into cultural conversation. Clark and Reese changed that overnight. Their rivalry, born in college and rebranded for the pros, introduced a new generation of fans to women's basketball. Suddenly, regular season WNBA games became must-see TV. Social media engagement skyrocketed. Jersey sales broke records. And most notably, fans weren't just watching, they were choosing sides. Is this really a rivalry if Clark keeps dominating? The answer is yes, because the rivalry is not just about winning. It's about storytelling. Think of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Early on, one was winning more rings. One had better stats. But their presence, the clash of Midwest grit versus LA flash, defined an era of basketball. The WNBA has never had a rivalry this visible, this layered, and this profitable. The league isn't just selling basketball anymore. It's selling narrative. And beyond profits, this dynamic is driving new conversations about how the league handles stardom. How a reason to watch, to debate, and to believe in the future of this league. And we're just getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dive WNBA analysis, behind the scenes drama, and storytelling that goes beyond the box score, make sure to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Her Hoops for fresh content every single day. We're building a community of real fans, real stories, and real hoops perspective. Until next time, stay locked in.